Hi, my name is Violet Emerson. I'm in English 373, Section 3, and today I'm doing my project on Silence of the Lambs by Jonathan Demme. Silence of the Lambs, I think, is an amazing horror movie. In addition, I think the way that it portrays women is very accurate to how women are portrayed in society. But I also think that it fights gender stereotypes as it uses the stereotypes, how accurately it is in real life, yet it also fights it by showing that these are happening, yet Clarice is still, the main character Clarice Starling is still fighting these stereotypes, and in the end is the only reason why this mystery is solved. We're gonna start off today at 1:07:17 in the movie. We're gonna start off with an arc shot of Hannibal Lecter, and which could also be considered a POV shot from Clarice Starling, and a tracking shot of Clarice Starling. I'll play the clip for a little bit.
Before you're both booted off the cave.
No, I came because I wanted to.
People will say we're in love.
This part of the movie is interesting as it starts off with Clarice Starling coming in to ask questions to Hannibal Lecter. She's being used to interrogate him, as she's considered almost his type by her boss. What's interesting about this is when Hannibal Lecter says people will say we're in love. Again, he uses her sexuality against her in a way. A lot of time women are portrayed as being emotional, especially women in the FBI, or sexually. They're sexually portrayed because they are women. And so when he asks this, she's no longer required to interview him, but she comes back on her own time to try to figure out who the murderer is, who Buffalo Bill is. Her intent is questioned when she comes here and he asks her this. People will say we're in love. It then again diminishes her ability and uses femininity against her in a way that would strike her oddly. But when Clarice comes in, she has this new information that she has learned, and she feels as though she has more power than Hannibal Lecter. She comes in knowing something, thinking that she's going to get answers from him. So I'll start the next scene.
Anthrax Island. That was an especially nice touch, Clarice. Yours?
Yes.
Yeah. That was good. Pity about poor Catherine, though. Tick-tock, 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 tick-tock.
Your anagrams are showing, Doctor. Louis' friend. Iron sulfide, also known as fool's gold.
Oh, Clarice, your problem is you need to get more fun out of life.
You were telling me the truth back in Baltimore, sir. Please continue now.
Well, I've read the case files, have you? Everything you need to find him is right there in those pages.
And tell me how.
First, principles, Clarice. Simplicity. Read Marcus Aurelius. Of each particular thing, ask, what is it in itself? What is its nature? What does he do, this man you seek?
He kills women.
No, that is incidental. What is the first and principal thing he does? What needs does he serve by killing?
Anger. Social acceptance and sexual frustrations.
No, he covets.
In this scene, we notice similar tracking and arc shots almost used as before. In addition, we notice that Hannibal Lecter corrects Clarice. He proves that she's wrong, which then again, although she comes to him saying, we figured out your anagrams, he still shows that he has the upper hand and he has more knowledge than she does. We also notice that in this, there is a close-up of Hannibal Lecter, which sort of creates an uncomfort to the audience. In addition, we notice top headlighting only on Hannibal Lecter. On Clarice, it's more face forward, and we can tell that they are both artificial as they are in a dark room.
That is his nature. And how do we begin to covet, Clarice? Do we seek out things to covet? an effort to answer now?
No. We just...
Now, we begin by coveting what we see every day. Don't you feel eyes moving over your body, Clarice? And don't your eyes seek out the things you want?
All right, yes. And please tell me how.
No. It's your turn to tell me, Clarice. You don't have any more vacations to sell. Why did you leave that ranch?
Doctor, we don't have any more time for any of this now.
But we don't reckon time the same way, do we, Clarice? This is all the time you'll ever have.
Later. Now, please listen to me. We've only got 5...
No! I will listen now. After your father's murder, you were orphaned. You were 10 years old. You went to live with cousins on a sheep and horse ranch in Montana. And?
And one morning, I just ran away.
Not just, Clarice. What set you off?
So the scene that we just experienced had very similar to before, where there was tracking of Clarice, close-ups, and overhead lighting for Hannibal Lecter. In addition, there's a weird uncomfortableness with the idea that Hannibal Lecter is making direct eye contact with the camera the entire time. His head is tilted down, yet he's looking straight at her, which almost gives the representation that he's looking down upon her, that he knows more than she does, and he will always win at the end, when Clarice still has somewhat of an upward look at him. In addition, he is surrounded by light and his face is in darkness, and this could represent that the inside of him is dark and that he's evil, and that he puts on, for a while he was therapist, so he put on a show of being good, but on the inside he was evil, when Clarice has what we will find out, a bad background, where she didn't come from an amazing place, yet she still has light inside her, and she works for the FBI and she does good. The next scene that we are about to notice, there is a slow zoom on Hannibal Lecter, and that'll lead to an extreme close-up. This will happen later on Clarice as well.
Started at what time?
Early. Still dark.
Then something woke you, didn't it? Was it a dream? What was it?
I heard a strange noise.
What was it?
It was... screaming. Some kind of screaming, like a child's voice.
What did you do?
I went downstairs, outside. I crept up into the barn. I was so scared to look inside, but I had to.
What did you see, Clarice? What did you see?
Lambs. They were screaming.
They were slaughtering the spring lambs?
Also, throughout these entire scenes, we notice that there's a consistent use of shot-reverse shot between Clarice and Hannibal Lecter. What this does is it shows that they each believe that they have their own information that they know, and that they both feel as though they have the upper hand. Yet, as we can see from the angles that they are looking at each other, that Hannibal Lecter is indeed looking down on Clarice. He will always have more knowledge than she does. The shot-reverse shot, though, shows a weird power dynamic, as Hannibal Lecter has the power of knowledge. He proves multiple times that he has more knowledge than Clarice does. Knowledge about her past, knowledge about Buffalo Bill, knowledge about his past, knowledge about almost anything. However, Clarice has the power of freedom. She's the one outside the cage, and she's the one that is able to be walking around. She's the one that can leave after this. So it's interesting how, although Hannibal Lecter has more knowledge, he's still not free like Clarice is. This next scene we notice is going to be a long take of Clarice. She's going to be talking about her past, and during this he's going to be breaking her down, talking about her past, something that she cannot control. He almost never blinks, but during this he will not come on the screen. He'll still ask questions, but unlike before, it'll only be on Clarice's face. Clarice Starling also has a lot of reactions in this, reactions to her past, not necessarily to what is happening right now. We can see on her face that she's trying to understand her past and trying to reckon with it and realize what's going on, and so she has a reaction multiple times on her face of how horrible her past was.
They were screaming.
And you ran away?
No. First I tried to free them. I opened the gate to their pen, but they wouldn't run. They just stood there, confused. They wouldn't run.
But you could, and you did, didn't you?
Yes. I took one lamb and I ran away as fast as I could.
Where were you going, Clarice?
I don't know. I didn't have any food, any water, and it was very cold. Very cold. I thought if I could save just one, but he was so heavy. So heavy. I didn't get more than a few miles when the sheriff's car picked me up. Rancher was so angry, he sent me to live at the Lutheran orphanage at Postman. I never saw a ranch again.
What became of your lamb, Clarice?
They killed him.
You still wake up sometimes, don't you? You wake up in the dark and hear the screaming of the lambs.
Yes.
And you think if you save poor Catherine, you could make them stop, don't you? You think if Catherine lives, you won't wake up in the dark ever again to that awful screaming of the lambs.
That is an important line, as he says that she will not wake up in darkness again to the screaming of the lambs. What's important about it is during this scene, Clarice is only surrounded by darkness. It also shows that although she's doing all that she can never run away from her past, as she will always feel surrounded by darkness and she will always remember it. And so it is important how Hannibal Lecter is breaking her down and he's using the past against her to show that may be her thought process, that saving each person is going to fix her past, yet it will not actually be true.
I don't know. I don't know.
Thank you, Clarice. Thank you.
And this is where I'm going to end my project today. Thank you so much for listening to me, and I hope that you have an amazing break. Thank you.